How a woman feels when she knows she lost you is important. Men need to understand that when a woman truly feels like she's lost a good guy, it's not just about missing them. It's a powerful awakening. She starts to realize what she overlooked, every quality she ignored, and every moment she let pass. This isn't solely about grief. It's about confronting the harsh truth that certain losses are irreplaceable. The first shock. If you want to know how to move forward, you need to understand that what she feels is deeper than you think. Part 1. The first shock and denial. She feels a lot of different emotions at once in the first wave, which comes out of nowhere like a storm. At first, her ego may be telling her that it's not a big deal and that she's fine without you, preventing her from realizing that she feels a sense of loss. But as the reality of your absence sets in, her mind starts to run through a million different scenarios, trying to make sense of what's happened. This shock is like a slap in the face. She suddenly realizes that she has lost something valuable, and it hits her completely off guard. This is due to her lack of expectation that you would leave, or that she would only have memories of you at this point. She will review your texts and replay them several times with you in an attempt to identify areas of concern. She looked at old pictures and talked about old things, paying close attention to any detail that might help her understand what was going on. Despite her pride telling her she's better off, her heart and mind are now resisting this wall of denial. Each day it gets harder for her to push these memories away. They keep coming back with even more sharpness. The shock becomes a wake-up call that tells her she's lost someone with qualities she might not find in anyone else. It's not just about missing you. It's about realizing she may have pushed away one of the best things that ever happened to her. This initial phase can be distressing as it involves the loss of a significant other and a profound rift in her self-perception. She may ask herself, did I make a mistake? Was I wrong about him? These questions keep coming up, making her feel a strong mix of regret and uncertainty that she can't ignore. This is the regret and self-reflection moment where she faces her own ego, which once told her she'd be fine without you, but now that the truth sets in, she realizes she wasn't ready to lose you, and she wonders if she'll ever find someone like you again. Second part. Once the shock wears off, she falls into a steady cycle of comparison. Every man she meets becomes a standard against which she judges how deep, unique and special every other man is. You had a significant impact on her life. As she dates, meets new people, and moves on, you cast an invisible shadow over it all. Every time she meets a new person, she can't help but compare them to the qualities you had, qualities she had come to expect, but didn't fully appreciate until now. This step of comparing is more than just making quick judgments. It's an exploration of what she really values and what you brought to her life. When she meets men who don't have the patience you showed her, or the drive you brought to the table, she starts to realize how rare those traits are. She'll remember your strength, your ability to stay calm in tough situations, and your ability to stay grounded, desire to reconnect. All of these things start to stand out to her as priceless traits, but she knows that not everyone has them. Accepting that some traits are irreplaceable is humbling. She may have lost something irreplaceable. She'll look at other relationships and compare the actions, beliefs and values of other men to yours. When other men fail or act differently than you would, she'll feel an ache, a thin but growing void that reminds her of what she gave up. She feels silent regret during this phase because she knows that not every man can make her feel the way you did. She starts to understand that the connection you two had, even if it was flawed, was based on traits that are uncommon to find in other men. With each comparison, she learns more about what makes a high-value man unique and realizes that these traits aren't just surface level, but deep-seated values and principles that guide every choice and action. During this phase, she might even start to admire your self-discipline. She has more patience and dedication than ever before, realizing that these are traits that most people find difficult to possess. As her understanding grows, so does her sorrow. Each new meeting, acceptance and growth, each failed connection makes her feel even more like she's lost something. Section 3. Regret and self-reflection. As the truth of her loss sets in, she goes through a period of intense regret. At this point, she doesn't look for outside distractions to calm her down or new people to fill the void. Instead, she has to face herself, and the regret isn't just about losing you, it's about losing a version of herself that used to fit with someone as grounded as you. Deep moments of reflection mark this stage, prompting her to question her choices, actions, and even her own values. She starts to understand how important her choices are during these quiet moments. She begins to reflect on the minor arguments, the dismissive behaviors, or the absence of gratitude. She begins to comprehend how she disregarded you and may question whether her genuine concern for you was hindered by her ego. This isn't an effortless understanding to come to. This lingering feeling is an admission of her own flaws, insecurities, and actions that led to this result. She doesn't just feel regret sometimes. It's the kind of regret that nags at her every day. She may think about what could have been if she had just respected you a little more, been a little more understanding, or given the relationship a real chance. These thoughts hurt her because they show her flaws and the fact that you were the one who gave the relationship your all while she held back. This time of self-reflection forces her to face her fears and emotional immaturity. It's a painful lesson that reminds her how important it is to value someone who treats her well and helps her grow. She starts to understand how much you gave her as a person, not just as a partner. You had principles, integrity, and values that are difficult to find. This may make her question her own sense of self-worth and what she really wants in a relationship. It's a humbling moment, and she realizes that she lost not only a wonderful partner, but also a part of herself that could have grown with someone amazing. Section 4. The desire for reconnection. As the sorrow sets in, she'll have a strong desire to get back in touch. This isn't just an urge to reach out, it's a deep longing. She longs to reminisce about the enjoyable moments spent with you, seeking a conversation to resolve issues and perhaps express regret for past transgressions. This strong desire to reconnect is often overwhelming because it's driven by a sense of unfinished business and the need to fill the void left by your absence. It's no longer about pride or ego, but about finding peace with a choice she now knows was wrong. She might even try to convince herself that given another chance, she could make things right. She wants to get back together with you because she realizes that you made her a better person, even if she didn't realize it at the time. She'll remember your actions, your consistency, and your patience, and know that they made her feel safe, valued, and seen. She has come to terms with her mistakes and is now prepared to take any action to regain them. The issue with this stage is that by the time she realizes everything, it could already be too late. You've likely progressed, matured, and grown even stronger without her. Part of her sorrow stems from the realization that she might not be able to reach out to them right now. But she still yearns to do so because it's not about what's possible, but about what she hopes could be, even if it's only a dream. Part 5. Acceptance and growth. After all the feelings, regrets, and efforts to get back together, she finally comes to terms with what happened. This stage isn't always peaceful, but rather a resigned acceptance that certain things are beyond our control. Because you've moved on, she'll accept that her chance to be with you has passed. This acceptance forces her to grow, let go of her old habits, and finally take responsibility for her choices. She might learn something here that will affect the way she treats men in the future, even if she doesn't change anything. You want to improve yourself. In this acceptance, you'll never find someone else quite like you. As she changes how she sees herself and learns the value of loyalty, honesty, and humility, she may discover that what she lost was a partner and a version of herself that she admired but couldn't keep up. This acceptance helps her start over so she can be more mature in future relationships and enjoy what she has when she has it. But there will always be a part of her that remembers you not as a chapter, but as a lesson in how to value the unique and irreplaceable qualities of a high-value man. Section 6. The Lingering Reminders. As she begins to acknowledge her loss, she encounters numerous recollections of her past. These aren't just old photos, memories, or mutual friends. They're also everyday events that bring back memories of her past. It could be a song on the radio that you used to sing along to, or a smell that takes her right back. There are times when ordinary things, like walking by a place you both visited or hearing someone talk about a book you recommended, can make her feel a lot of emotions she wasn't ready for. These reminders are like a silent presence that shows her how much you affected her life. Every time she sees these pieces of the past, she can't help but feel like she lost something important. Each reminder is like a mirror that shows not only what you shared, but also the growth, comfort, and understanding that marked your relationship. She may try to brush these feelings off as nothing, but as they happen more often, they make her feel even more lost. Build up. She begins to comprehend that her time with you was filled with unique and unforgettable experiences. They were more than just surface-level exchanges. They were memories that shaped her, made her feel safe, and made her feel like she belonged. These reminders are like ghosts of what might have been following her, silent but persistent. People who saw a link that used to mean everything. In the 7th part, she realizes that no new experience can fully replace what you brought to her life, leaving her feeling increasingly empty. Realizing she's not going to find another feeling starts to form. It's not just loneliness, but an emptiness that comes from losing someone who deeply understood her. She realizes that there is a void in her life that no one else seems to be able to fill. It's not just missing you as a person. It's missing the way she felt around you, like she was seen, valued, and respected. As she tries to fill this emptiness, she might find new hobbies or relationships, but every time she meets someone new, or does something she thinks will distract her, she feels the same hollow feeling. Get away. There is still an emptiness that reminds you of the special bond she had with you, a bond that went beyond surface interactions and was based on real connection. Understanding this emptiness can often push her to look within and realize the effect you had on her. She realizes that you weren't just someone passing through her life, but someone who gave it depth and meaning. This makes her feel even worse about what she did, and she wishes she had held on. Taking the lesson to heart, I loved you more and valued the stability you gave me. Section 8. In the quiet of her own thoughts, she realized how serious her mistakes were. More than ever, she can see her mistakes. It's no longer just about feeling bad about what she did. It's about figuring out the exact acts and thoughts that caused this to happen. During this stage, she starts to face the habits, insecurities, and assumptions that caused the rift between you two. She may remember times when she ignored your kindness or took your efforts for granted. She may remember arguments where she let her pride drive her actions, pushing you away instead of choosing to understand. Realizing her mistakes is very humbling. She sees how she could have been kinder, more supportive, or more patient in small moments. Every action she now regrets feels bigger, and she starts to understand that it wasn't just one moment that caused her to lose you, but a series of small decisions that added up over time. Each memory serves as a reminder of how she slowly destroyed the foundation of what you two had. This stage is usually painful because it makes her take responsibility for things she may have avoided in the past. The loss she feels is partly due to her own actions and decisions. As she comes to terms with this, she realizes that the qualities you had, like patience, understanding and loyalty, were rare, and that she made a big mistake by not nurturing them in you. The ninth part, following a lot of self-reflection and accountability, she starts to feel a real desire to improve herself. Losing you has become a catalyst for personal growth, because she now knows that some traits or behaviors she held onto have kept her from experiencing a deep, meaningful connection. This part isn't easy. It hurts because it confronts aspects of herself that she had previously ignored or justified. For example, she might understand she needs to improve how she talks to people. She may recognize the need to enhance her trustworthiness or overcome her tendency to let pride interfere with her priorities. This journey to improve herself often leads her to look for help, whether it's self-help books, therapy, or advice from friends. The knowledge that she risks losing important relationships again if she doesn't change drives her now. These issues were previously ignored, but losing you forced her to address them. Her desire to grow comes from the hope that one day she can feel the connection she had with you again. She knows she can't change the past, but this phase lets her work toward a better future. This is her way of honoring what you did for her, and a reminder that high-value relationships need high-value traits. Once she realizes she's lost a high-value man, she sees that if she wants someone like you in her life, she has to change into someone who values and nurtures such a connection. This is the journey she goes on. It prompts you to consider the significant impact you can make simply by being authentic and adhering to your core values. Please click the like button if you liked this insight. Sign up for more advice on relationships, self-mastery, and Stoicism. What stood out to you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Stay grounded.